and I know even Prabhu Dayal mentioned this, but to give us a sense, to give our viewers a sense of why 196 people were living in a 6th floor building, would you take us through who the owner was and how significant this owner was in terms of employability in a country like Kuwait?
Is that question to me?
Yes, Mr. Revan, it is.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Revan D'Souza, this question is for you.
Yeah, no, okay, the question is for me. Yeah, 196, my understanding is this labor camp, as it's called, is a little better than many. There are much better, of course, and then there are many who are not meeting the standards. There's a minimum salary wage, which is a contractual. Kuwait is a signatory to the ILO convention. There are so many things that are so many things are in place to protect migrant labor, migrant rights, human rights. But as we know, these are constantly and regularly flouted. The embassy, the MEA, has started an e-migrate system where flouting workers, employers are not given contracts or are not able to recruit. So there are many checks and balances in place. This unfortunate incident could have been avoided, but I think it was unfortunate that so many died. The employer, who is an Indian, along with his Kuwaiti partner, are fairly well known. They have, as Mr. Babuji mentioned earlier, they have almost 20,000. They have been part of the Kuwait growth success story. So there was no deliberate intention or malified, situation that cause of something that was not normal. The bad luck was that they did not look into fire safety as closely as they should have, and as closely as many companies should look at.
Mr. Revan, at the end of the day, that really is the irony. I don't think anybody would want to intentionally kill 49 people. Nobody would want to kill, say, XY number of people. There will be no malified intentions, as it were. But the fact that systems like this exist, the fact like this, countries after countries after countries, you have a disastrous infrastructure at the center of it all for immigrants who are working itself is a huge crisis. Irudaya Rajan, if I can come to you at this point, if the government is listening to you, Mr. Irudaya Rajan, if the government is listening to you, if you have to, in the wake of what's happened in Kuwait, in the wake of what's happening with the Indian immigrants, the conditions in which they are living, if there are top 3 recommendations that you have to make, what would they be at this point?
I have only, as you rightly said, 3 points. One is that Indian embassy should be strengthened. Because, as Prabhu Dayal says, we have to blame the government of Kuwait. I think we are responsible. They are holding Indian passport. Indian embassy is understaffed in many countries. And, you have one embassy in Qatar handling 1 million people. I'm sorry, they cannot handle them. So you have to give extra infrastructure for protecting Indians. Indian embassy should have visited these places where the workers are staying. They would have told them, look, there is a overcrowded. So I think we need lot of labor officers to work. That's the one point. Indian embassy should be strengthened. The second point is we have to have a mechanism to look at the recruitment system in the country. Because recruitment people, some of them, not all of them, they are selling dreams to the poor migrants, selling dreams in the name of higher salaries. But I have seen during COVID-19, there are wage theft, salary was not paid, they were cheated in the daylight. I think this has to be looked into that. And finally, I think I would like, this mode that when Prime Minister Modi came to power in Modi 1.0, we had a Ministry of Overseas Indian Affairs. Now he is Modi 3.0. It was cancelled in his 1.0. I think we have to bring a ministry to handle overseas Indian affairs to come back. I think they need separate attention. They cannot be with the Ministry of External Affairs. We need a ministry. We have 20 million workers, 20 million diasporas. They need a separate ministry with a minister to handle situation. I don't think MEA can handle several things. We need a separate ministry, which was there when Modi took over power in India in Modi 1.0.
My last question to you, Prabhu Dayal, and I don't have much time, a minute to you maybe, to what Prabhu Dayal said, to what Irudaya Rajan said, and you earlier mentioned that the embassy doesn't have the power to go and inspect these buildings, such as the building that was up in flames. Now, my question is it required that these embassies should have greater teeth? Can this be a mandate given to embassies? Because Indian government is looking at a very strong Indian government. It's looking at bolstering how India is literally viewed across the world. And the way how migrants get treated abroad is also very crucial to how India is seen.
Of course, India has the responsibility to protect its migrant workers and has been doing and will continue to do everything that is possible to protect the workers who go abroad. Of course, the responsibility for implementing local rules which relate to the welfare of such workers lies with the local authorities. And in this case, it is the municipality officials and the manpower government, the manpower department officials who have this responsibility. And very significantly, the Emir of Kuwait has said that he has ordered an immediate investigation, not only into the cause of the fire, but also into which officials should be held accountable. So the responsibility really lies with the government of Kuwait, and I'm heartened to note that at the highest level, the Kuwaiti government is taking action.
Right. As always, our aim at Beyond the Headline has been, it's not just to focus on the problem, but it's dialogue, it's conversations to ensure that we are able to take the issue forward, to able to understand the different aspects and to facilitate the government in taking better decisions. As Modi 3.0 begins, the government begins to work. Here we had a panel of Irudaya Rajan, as well as Revan D'Souza and Prabhu Dayal, joining us, giving us deep insights into what this crisis means and the larger picture around it. Thank you very much, all three of you, including Babuji Bateri, who left us a while ago in the middle of the show. Thank you very much, all three of you, for joining us and joining us in some very important perspectives.